boys in the neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen, in the neighborhood, Lil Rel Howery. Welcome to the neighborhood, Lil Rel.
What up? Thanks for having
Man, is this our first time sitting down?
This is our first time sitting
Man,
down.
shame on the devil, man. See how OJ Passing had to bring us together? You know, I remember, man, I saw him at the red carpet. I was like, man, I need you on the show. He said, oh, when OJ died. You know what I'm saying?
I did not say that.
Hey, man, we went on your social media. No mention of OJ Passing on your social media. Huh?
It just happened. It just happened this morning.
As we're sitting here talking about it, yeah.
It's one of the, I didn't know how to react to that, actually.
Right.
And weirdly enough, and I was going to do this, I haven't did it yet, but I was going to go to see what Cameron said, because, he's been doing Cam and Mace.
Man. Yeah,
podcast.
That's what I went to go check. Like, man, what are they saying?
How they feel, you know what I mean? Because they had OJ on there laughing. Like, OJ became more interesting.
OJ almost admitted it on the show a few times. Man, you're like, man, I will move off this couch, but I'm sitting on this knife. You know? Yeah, they brought OJ out, bro.
What do you say, though? Like, it's because when I saw it popped up, it just like,
yeah.
But Jay said it great. When Jay did the song, I Ain't Black, I'm OJ.
Yeah,
OJ is his own.
Right.
I don't even know if you got to say legend or anything. You just say OJ.
OJ. Yeah. I think you go OJ ... And then you let everybody else fill it in. You know what I'm saying?
And nobody won't fill it in. It's just going to be a bunch of dots.
Because I know I haven't. Like, even when he passed, we were like, damn, OJ passed. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's get into phone tap. Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
To the next segment. Yeah.
Like, he got to have a diary sitting around somewhere. Wow. Did you say the same thing?
That's what I said today. I was like, man, and he got to think, like, cancer, and everybody had somebody that got affected.
Yeah.
It's a process. At no point did he ever say, hey, man, when I do go in that third drawer, there's a diary in there.
But I wouldn't, like, when my mom passed from cancer, but she kept a diary.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did have some written thought, because he started being very vocal about stuff. Like, I started watching him talk about football, and I didn't know he was sick, actually.
Right. I know. Same here.
So
Same here.
I don't know.
That's another secret he held from us.
He was still doing Cam and May's show.
Yeah. He didn't get off that couch, though, I noticed.
Yeah,
man. But, man.
That's funny. I just thought he was chilling.
Right. Hell yeah, man. He lived a good one. He was on the golf course. He was looking healthy.
You didn't think OJ's one of those random people you're not sure if you think would die.
Right.
That's
true. And it was very crazy, man, because I didn't know he was 76. Of course, he been around my whole life. But when I actually saw the actual number, too, there's just some people that you're like, nah.
Like, OJ was old?
It's like, yeah, man. Like, and you got to think, man, he played football for a long time. He was an actor for a long time. He was a fugitive for about, what, 2.5 hours, remember, on the freeway? He was a murderer, alleged. Well, we don't have to say alleged anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it was just phases of OJ's
he
life.
had so many. Yeah, when you think about it, because even when he went to like take his stuff back, like and then he became a football analyst in the last year or so. Like OJ talking football was crazy.
My man went and got the Heisman back. He said he kicked in the door like jive turkey, sucker ass motherfuckers, get down.
Everybody shut up. Like, OJ, that's not a gun. OJ walked in with his hand like this. OJ, you ain't got no gun. I don't need one.
Yeah, man. You know how I get down. Hell yeah. As soon as he came in, everybody was like, oh, man.
He just robbed him with his hands. Everybody get down.
Hey, man, now his whole cleaning staff is like, all right, we can bring the knives back out. What he said, what Rel said wasn't enough.
I didn't see you keep bringing up real stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I'm throwing out bits. You
okay.
You brought up the real weapons.
He wasn't a football player?
He was a football player.
Said that?
But you just said something about that.
Man.
You brought up knives about 3 times.
Right. Oh, okay. My bad. Well, when we think about OJ, we don't actually think about like what? We don't think about pliers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I just think Jay's song is one of my favorite songs because he had, like, OJ had a different mindset.
Hey, man, did you ever see when he broke that song down? He was hip to that song. Like, OJ had his finger, I was about to say finger on the pulse, which is wrong. But OJ had his, he was in the know. He was in the know. Let's talk about the new movie, man. We grown now. Does it hurt your heart that OJ's not gonna be able to see this movie?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's
First
not
of
with
all,
him.
I just feel bad. OJ's gonna miss the NFL draft.
Yeah, man. That's disappointing.
That's what I thought about, actually, which is very interesting.
Hey, man, but they sent out copies of the new movie, right? We Grown Now. And they sent it to everyone, and I don't know if they had a real email on it because I'm kind of a ghost on it. They sent it to our producers, so on and so forth. I didn't get a chance to see the movie, but I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
and all real talk, man. The trailer, Rel, looks amazing, bro. And I'm not even talking about leading into it where already winning awards and everything, bro. But it looked like a great body of work. Yeah. And what is that? What we Grown Now?
Well, Minha, who's our director, and she wrote it also, who's also from Chicago, just like me, she wrote and created a love letter to Chicago, for real, and to Cabrini Green.
Yeah, man. How did y'all do the Cabrini Greens thing?
They built that on a studio.
Damn.
So the first day I went on set, we was talking about it last night because we had a screening, and she's like, I remember you saying, give me a second. Because I was like, how did you do this? It looked just like Cabrini Green.
Did you grow up in or near Cabrini?
I'm from the west side of Chicago.
Okay, gotcha.
Going past Cabrini Green, just Cabrini Green was a staple, right?
Yeah,
it's
man.
like it was one of those weird places where it was in between going out west and coming downtown.
Yeah, man.
And so you're gonna see Cabrini Green. If you're on the bus, you ever take the bus anywhere, you're gonna
That's
see Cabrini
crazy,
Green.
man, because like I was born in Peoria. And then another project is the only project that we lived in before we came here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so going back, I would see Cabrini, and I remember hanging out, or as far as and I never visited a lot. It was once I got older and got with the Far Side, and I was the bodyguard for the rap group, the Far Side, and going back. But my mom growing up, that's all you would hear. So just as a iconic spot, and you say when you walked on set, you saw Cabrini Green in front of you.
Right. It was surreal to see. Because, I mean, I've been on a bunch of sets where they build things or something like that. But to see something built that, was a part of my childhood,
right,
in a way. And then also, like, it's a Chicago staple. It's been gone. They tore them down. So, like, it was kind of like, it was almost eerie to see in a way.
Hey, man, when you get with a project like that and being that it's so close to you, do you make sure, like, to be involved with it that you can't mess this up?
In this particular one, I didn't feel like I had to. I think my first meeting with Minha was that I could tell how attached she was to
Gotcha.
it. And then she did a great job. She interviewed old residents. She did research for like 5 years on everything on this. So I just felt comfortable. I think for me, I just took it on as like I wanted to make sure the character I played, which was the dad to one of the kids, that I made sure I had that energy of what it felt like at that time in '92 when Dantrell was murdered. The feeling my parents had, because I think people forget the early '90s is when we first started seeing through gang violence,
right?
Kids being killed, those stray bullets, man. And we've almost been desensitized to it in a way. But when it first happened, everybody was scared. Because, at that, my parents grew up when the civil rights movement was happening. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't necessarily afraid of your people.
Right. That was the safe zone. You're
Yes.
like, oh, I'm home.
I'm home.
Yeah.
And so that's when it really changed. Like, that's when the gangs really went to another level, especially
Do you
Chicago.
make it back now?
I go back as much as I can. I'll be there in a couple of days. But it's still, it's still not the same. I like me going to therapy, which I go to all the time. I had to I didn't realize how traumatized I was from a lot of that stuff because I got used to it. I lost a lot of friends at really early ages from gang violence.
Yeah, man.
And I, in a weird way, got used to or normalized.
Our age was 17. And it sounds crazy, man, because our age was, man, if we could just make it to 17, if we could just make, and it sound, if I heard my son say, Dad, hopefully I make it to 17, I'd be like, what?
That'll break your heart.
Yeah, man, but that was growing up. It was like my brother Keith had to turn 17. Then my brother Mouse had to turn 17.
Yeah.
And then, and now it's crazy when you say therapy and everything. Now our ages is 57. Because my mom passed at 57. Then my brother passed at 54.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I just had a sister. No one in my family made it to 60 until my sister Charlene. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because it does that, right?
Yep.
My cousin got murdered and he didn't turn 21. So for the longest time for me, I'm like, yo, I got to get to 21.
Yeah, man.
And then you get past that, it almost gets a little scary.
Right. Yeah. And then you probably may grab onto something else. But you say you in therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How long have you been in therapy?
It's been a couple of years now, and it's been the best thing that could have ever happened to me. You know what I mean? Like just learning to deal with so many different things. I think it's played into like even just, you know, the way I take care of myself health wise. All of it plays into everything. So it's very interesting about taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
because life gonna life anyway. It's always gonna be something. But I'm in this really good place of like being comfortable with who I am, being okay with not participating in everything.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No FOMO. I gotta be there.
No, I ain't gotta be there. I don't even read comments on social media like that.
Gotcha.
Like I refuse to. I did I did a Club Shay Shay interview, and it'd be all types of conversations.
Right.
I ain't seen one.
Oh, you haven't seen
I refuse to participate in it.
Yeah,
I said what I said, and you leave it, and then leave it at that.
Right, and then it's like there's some things that you say, you know what, I don't even watch my interviews because I'm like, it's out there.
No, it's funny you say that. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's out there, and then I probably look at it different, so on and so forth. And then there's also where I'm like, okay, you know what? There's certain things I just won't say either. And then I have a platform, and then there are places, man, everything. That's why I like dialogue and conversation because everything is so clickbait. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was watching, the Katt Williams thing, right? It was one of those things where I was like, okay, you know what? I had a drive to like past Palm Springs. I said, I'll listen to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like when we came into 2024, I was like, damn, is this the way we're going to start the year? You know what I'm saying? And it just felt like, and then it started, and
well, people are so thirsty. It's interesting with like, especially as black people, like, and I kind of saw Marlon talk about it on here when he was with you. Marlon Wayans was here. It's something weird about like when it comes to success and how we think people got it. Right. And honestly, it's unfortunate too. Like I look at like white comics and actors, how they could just be free. Like Will Ferrell, I was watching a clip of him on Jimmy Fallon doing Beyonce, and he's crawling and he's doing all the Beyonce. Like if a black comic did that, you done sold your soul because you're acting like Beyonce.
Yeah, look at him.
Look at him. He's crawling
man,
like
Marlon got hit for being in here just saying that.
Yeah.
With white chicks.
But he's not wrong. Like even with that, right? I think, it's so crazy that even with, the whole, people like, oh, you wore a dress, so now whatever that means, you take away from somebody who does character work.
Right.
Like how y'all get mad at us for looking up to Eddie Murphy and Martin and Jamie and Flip Wilson? They're doing characters. And so when you decide to say, well, wait a minute, the girl, but you forgot about the old man and the other character, and all the other 15 to 20 characters that the person did.
When you sat down and you watched Eddie Murphy, he did a whole table full of people. And people weren't like, oh, man, he was the big dad and he was the buff uncle.
You ain't like, Eddie sold his soul to be Rasputin.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Got the little kids saying Hercules. But yeah, man.
Because you didn't even think about it. Because that is great character work. Like even white chicks, I think is brilliant because they explain it. They're undercover cops.
Right. Yeah, man. Written and produced by.
So it's like, it's one of those things like with me, I've done so many characters, man. I've done old women, I've done old men, I've done hip hop, young rappers, I've done the hood rats. Like one of my first bits was like my ghetto girl because, between Jamie Foxx and Martin with Shanae and Wanda, like as a comic, we all wanted to figure out what our version of a hood chick would be. And so, like, in my material was like, what they do all day. And I did the West Side Girl, Chicago, whatever. And that was one of the characters I ended up doing. I think I did a sketch for All Def Digital based off a joke I did about prom. So it's like, but I think about that. People are like, well, you did that and then you got on. I didn't. I was still really broke.
Right. Yeah. Hey, man. And sometimes it feel like all you got to do is this. And then,
And it's not true. It takes so much work to do this stuff. It takes years of showcasing. It takes the Chitlin circuit, the hole in the wall spots. I think I say this for me personally. I think what's helped me over my time is that I always been ready every time I was called.
Right.
I knew comics that were funnier than me, But then some of them did the same showcase and went over their time. Had the best set that night, but they asked you to only do 5 minutes and you did 6.
Oh.
And they decided to take your name off there now. That's how crazy, that's how like professional this has to be.
What do you feel now, man, where you'll say, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears, you know, the open mic nights, doing 3-4 clubs at a time. Hopefully, if you could make $50, you was pulling in some money.
Man.
To where we see on social media now, you know, that you can almost cut the line. And I mean, you use what you got to get what you want.
Yeah.
But you don't see as many having to put in the kind of groundwork that we were kind of just touching on.
But that's the blessing.
Yeah.
So this is what I don't understand also, right? And I'm glad you said that. I look at it like my job and my success is to make it easier for the generation after me.
Gotcha.
I don't understand the generation that's before me not being comfortable with that.
Right. Yeah.
So instead of you
close the door.
That's what you didn't do what I did, and if you did do it because they came at me this way, that means you did that. Like, no, your no's became yeses for me.
Right.
Because you turned something down. I thank you for that. And I don't know why they refuse to give themselves that credit. You open the doors for it to be a little easier for me.
Right. And we see that even in the genre of hip-hop, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We seen people that, and you know, you can call it for the love of hip-hop, whatever it is, but that didn't get the money.
Yeah.
That didn't get the publishing. That didn't get the, you know, and then you'll see other people, man. But that's also like how you say, man, no, I treat it with respect. I pay homage. That's what I think sometimes is missing if we're talking about hip-hop. That's sometimes you don't get people.
Boy.
Oh, okay.
Well,
you don't get people that say thank you.
Well, here we go. This is what it is too. The thank yous, and the other thing is also too, like, I don't ever want to be, when I hit a certain age of how long I've been in the game, to chase the same dream. Like, why am I still trying to be the hottest comic?
Right.
In my 50s.
With your FUBU on.
Yeah. Like, why am I walking around? Yeah, I'm still the hot. Like, I think that's one of the things I love about the way Nas have. You know, Nas like just grew up.
Right. The evolution.
Yeah, he's not chasing to be the hottest MC. He just love it. This is what success is. I told somebody this. I said, you know what makes me successful? I can do stand-up when I feel like it now. I don't have to do it because I need the bread.
Right.
And so when I bring up somebody like Nas or even Jay, like, they're just doing music because they love it.
Right. You have to. Not to have to, I want to.
I want to.
Right. And I still love it.
I still love it. I don't know what the numbers is. I don't even care. Me and Hit Boy went in the studio. This young producer who was probably
wait before
born.
You say Hit Boy. What up, Big Hit? Bang on him. All right, go ahead. That's
I love
Pops.
Big Hit too.
Yeah, man.
Big Hit is funny to me.
Yeah, man.
He just came out of nowhere.
He gonna F around that. Well, we know where he came out of.
Well, we know he came out. But I'm gonna say this: he came out of jail. Like most people come out of jail, their outfits are old.
Right.
Hit Boy had them right.
Oh yeah. All
he
had to do was
brand new
touch
outfits.
Turf.
Yeah.
He just had to touch. He just had to put that one foot on the ground, and he was home.
And I love that too. I actually love that father and son story.
Yeah, man.
That you will hope more people talk about. I love for them to do a documentary about them.
And you have kids as well, though.
Yeah,
right?
I'm 100%. I love being a dad.
Really though, how did you get into the comedy situation? Were you always one of those that people said, "Oh, he's funny"?
You know, so it was a little bit of both. Where it was like, you know, it was people that told me I was funny, but I was obsessed with it.
Oh, really?
I was in my own world about it. So like, you know, the first time I saw Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Yeah, man.
The first time I ever saw It Live in Color. The first time I ever saw, it's a specific Saturday Night Live cast that with Chris Farley, David Spade, all those, that group, Adam Sandler, is my favorite group. You know what I mean? Like
That's
my favorite group. And so watching all that, I became very obsessed with it. And then I read Richard Pryor's Prior Convictions and other life sentences when I was in school. Like I was 13.
So there's a lot of, as I would say, tuition into the school of experience. Like you studied it.
I am a student of this. I absolutely love. Like I watch to this day. I watch everything. I watch all the specials. I watch all the movies. I watch all.
So you still consume?
I could be shooting something. And if I'm a fan enough, when they say cut and go back to watching it, all right, ready for you, and then pause it and go back. Like that's how much I watch everything.
Hey, when do you go from being able to say, man, Saturday Night Live, I watched it. There's a difference between being a spectator and being a participant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when do you, because comedy, it's also a lonely world, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you could just bring all your homies up and everybody just on there and, you know, it's a world, and especially early on. You see Rel now, you're like, oh, he's on.
Yeah.
But what about the dude when they didn't know how to pronounce your name or they read your name off of a list and you know what I'm saying?
That's what make it beautiful, though. It's such a personal thing. It's your dream. Which is why, like, I'll say this again. This is why I can't tell somebody else about their journey.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what your journey is. I don't know that. You don't know mine. Like, it's such a personal dream. This was a real personal dream to get on stage and do stand-up. Like, so, like, for me, I take all my moments seriously. Like, the last special I did, even at the end of it, and I take time, and I didn't take it out of it, but just watching it and just standing there taking it all in.
Right.
Like, do you know how crazy that is for me to grow up in Chicago and walk past the Chicago theater my whole life with my parents? And then my name is on the marquee, and I'm selling this place out, and I'm doing my special here to a standing ovation? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that you recognize it. Because when I got my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, bro, I used to walk, like, we would have to walk from Hollywood because we didn't have money to take the bus. You know, and there were times when, you know, I'm homeless. You know what I'm saying? So people were asking, I remember Quick was like, Big, he said, why did you cry so much? I said, bro, and I explained to him, you don't know what it was for me to look and see my brother and my sisters and my mom rest in peace and my other brother rest in peace, how proud of a moment that was. So yeah, so you do kind of sit back and say, wow, this is crazy right here. Like, I'm that kid.
Like, we can, I had a moment when we was in quarantine and I was watching TV and I had like 3 different movies I was in on at the same time. And I was sitting there, and I had a moment where I was sitting there by myself, staring at the TV, like, "Oh wow, you actually made it inside the TV.
Yeah.
It wasn't a tragedy, or this is
right.
You that work because TV was that to me. It was like it took me away from what was going on around me. You know what I mean? Watching different worlds.
Yeah, the Great Escape,
man. And so to actually be in that, it just blew,
and possibly giving that to someone else.
That's crazy, yo. That's like, oh wow, I really did that.
Did you know that Get Out was going to be the phenomenon that it was when you read the script?
No, I was more or less like either they gonna love us or hate us. Like,
yeah,
man. I didn't see no in between with it,
right.
Which is so funny. Like I didn't think, you know, sometimes things could be like, oh, okay, this crowd. No, I'm like either people gonna really love this,
or they gonna hate it.
Or they gonna hate it. And I mean, Jordan Peele is a mastermind.
Dude
like,
is a beast, man.
And it like opened up so many doors. You know, Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith.
Oh yeah.
You know, just seeing everybody become these huge stars from this. I'd never forget. I remember when we all was doing reshoots, and we sat. It was like a hotel bar or something. We all had like some food, and it was just like 6, 7 of us there, like Jordan, Daniel, and we were all like, "Yo, is this about to be a thing?" Because the trailer was going crazy.
Oh, so y'all did reshoots while the trailer was already out?
Yeah. That money didn't come till they saw it. They was like, oh, we give y'all some more money to do the reshoots.
Damn.
And we reshot the ending.
Hey, man, and that's another one where you really stood out in that. And is that one of them things? Because Bernie Mac early in the days, he would say like, all I need is a small part. You know what I'm saying? And that small part will be that part that you're like, damn, Bernie killed that. Did you go in? Is that the way you always work?
100%. And it's because of Bernie, actually.
Wow.
Because, you know, watching interviews and watching him say that was a great, I'm told you I'm a student, so it was like, yeah, that's it. You got to take that, even no matter how small it is. No matter how small anything Bernie did.
Yeah,
you
man.
never forgot you saw Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie Mac, jangle egg. You remember that? You remember
even Who's the Man, right?
Yeah.
It's like it don't matter.
Hey, man, did you ever see Head of State?
Yes.
Hey, dude.
Him coming off that train, slapping everybody.
Yes,
it's
man.
one of the funniest, greatest things of all time.
What about what my man was like? What about NATO? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I see. Do you know NATO Jenkins? All right. See, you don't know NATO. I don't know NATO. Those are those things, man, when you get that moment and you capitalize off of it.
I mean, Bernie was unique in that way, where like, and I think for Chicago comics, he set the blueprint of doing that. Like, all right, take every moment and own it. Right. And guess what? I mean, what he did on Kings of Comedy was brilliant, of just telling them like, y'all scared to give me a show.
Yeah.
You don't want to give me. He challenged them.
And then he got the show. And the thing about it, you said it earlier too, paraphrasing, he was ready.
He was ready. Yep.
He was ready, man.
Yeah.
And so were you always felt like you were ready for whatever was coming? Success, stress, whatever it is.
Well, I think the thing, if I could be honest, what I wasn't the most ready for is, I guess more or less the stuff now. Like the bigger you get and more whatever, it's just like, especially if you're just a chill guy. I'm pretty chill. I don't want no problems. I'll be mad at my business. Like when people just aim to like poke at you.
It's a different world,
it's
bro.
like, damn, I ain't do nothing to you.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. Were you hesitant about doing Club Shay Shay?
No, so this was so funny. He probably called all of us at the same time.
Okay, because
nobody knew what Katt's interview was going to do and
who
change.
was that was in here that said that when they came, it was all they didn't know that Katt interview was up. It was somebody. Was it Country Wayne? Country Wayne was like, it wasn't like I saw Katt and then I was like, oh, I need to go sit down. You know,
he asked me to do it before Katt. I think I was trying to do like November, December, and my scheduling was all kind of off. And then I did mine in January. And so, I think Katt had just came out. And then that's why I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Because it became a thing. I'm like, wait a minute, everybody else interviews is regular.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was just
my man, no blinker, just got in the lane.
It was just like it was one of the most. I always tell people, Katt's interview is one of the most entertaining things I've ever watched. But I just hate how people take everything so serious.
Right.
He just has great delivery. Yeah. And I think people forget that he's a comic and some of the stuff he says ain't true.
Right.
He just delivers it well. And so, but it was tough watching. I don't like seeing the OGs bicker and do all this stuff. I didn't like the stuff about Ricky, I also understood too, and I guess I ain't never said this, but I actually learned a lot of them don't know the business well at this point. Like, they just making stuff up. You always can tell people who's really producing and starring in and actually having these real meetings, they're not making up all this stuff. But I could tell that a lot of, even when Katt and he was talking about, even Ricky did it too, because when Ricky did this interview, Ricky was like, I was supposed to play Money Mike. Right. But no, you auditioned for Money Mike.
Right, yeah. There's a difference.
They didn't offer it to you.
Right.
You read for it.
Right.
All you thought because you read for it was yours.
Right. Right.
No, Cube was gonna see other people.
Yeah. You saw it on your way out.
You saw that wasn't yours. Then they gave me they were nice enough because they weren't gonna use you for Money Mike to give you some anyway because they respected you.
Yeah, and I've been in there when they say, "Hey, can you read this too?"
That's I was watching like, oh, they don't know the difference.
Yeah,
that wasn't even a screen test.
Yeah,
that was
man.
an audition.
Man. Then they wanted me to play the waiter. Like, no, they was asking you what you're in the order. Like,
I read for Axel Foley, so they picked Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, but like, this is ridiculous, man. I can't get no work.
That's
see, they holding me back because I ain't touching nobody.
A lot of people don't know that. I've realized between a couple of people that don't know this thing well.
Right. And
even like Katt was like, yeah, I told him to put in my contract that Ricky has to wear a dress. You can't do that. You like tip on a call sheet. You're not even a star of the movie.
Right.
You can't negotiate that.
Oh, man.
That don't even make, so you don't want no back end points.
Yeah.
If the movie do well, you ask it specific.
Right. And then what happened?
I mean, it's delivery.
Oh, come on now, Katt.
Yeah, come on, Katt. You can't get Katt.
Yeah, man.
No, yeah, but I mean, it was entertaining. Yeah. But I just hate.
But you know how to separate it. Most don't.
Well, that's what's scary about it too. This is the problem. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about Black success. Mm-hmm. And everybody else, when they don't have it, they like, what did you do differently
to get it?
Why you have it and I don't have it? Mm-hmm. You had to do something crazy. So then even when you say, no, God has been blessing me. Also, now you don't want to believe God can bless me, but you can believe the Illuminati could do anything. Right. But if I say God do it, you don't want to believe. That's crazy to me.
How do you get the enoughs, man? Enough of the business and stay out of it enough?
It's funny you say that. I love this so much. That is what I pay attention to. The same thing that made me a fan of what this is. That's what I pay attention to. I watch everything as a fan.
Gotcha.
And so I don't participate in the whole I'm fan. Who cares, man? I'm a fan.
You know how to disappear?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think but once again, it's like being able to be okay with like still the stuff you love. Like I love basketball, so I enjoy watching the tournament. And I like have my moments to myself. I can sit in the crib by myself. Michael Jai White is my friend now, but I can't believe it because I had to tell her, say, look, man, I know this is weird and we buddies now, but I'm weirdly a huge Michael Jai White fan.
Right.
I've just watched like 6 movies for the last 3 days. For no reason, because he got 1 million of them out there.
He was probably saying the same about you, because you got 1 million of them out there.
Nah, but Michael Jai White's he don't get enough props. He's really our Sylvester Stallone, to be quite honest, who really know how to do everything.
He our Sylvester Stallone, he our Claude Van Damme,
He's all that. He's like literally the same. And the crazy thing about him is he can actually do the physical stuff.
Yes, man, and do it well.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys when I'm out with him, I'm like, man, I wish somebody would mess with us right now.
I be wanting somebody to mess with us. Like,
Michael, get over here.
Excuse me for a second. Get up. Roundhouse with people.
I got to go whip somebody's ass real quick.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back with you real quick, man.
When they drop the pancakes off, could you make sure the syrup is hot? I'll be right back.
Hey, man, but you're a fan first of quite a bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why when you go to work, do you understand the way that you're working, that's the way that, because you're also a consumer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I consume this product as well, so I know how it should be or how it should feel.
That's been arguments I've had on set, because sometimes, especially when it comes to comedy, and they'll hire you and you're like, well, I'm an expert at this.
Right.
And let me say this. I've learned, because sometimes if you're that passionate and adamant about it, you can come off as an asshole.
Right.
But it's like, no, I just want it to be good, because honestly, nobody's going to forget that you said the unfunny line.
It's you.
It's going to be me.
Hey, man, I was reading something where, did you have a problem on the set with a director or someone?
Well, it was a producer I did one time. But let me say this. It's been a couple people I had a problem with. But it was only one time where it was something like deeper than just what was going on. And that's happened a couple times, actually, where like I've had to like say, because, this was before the Me Too movement. So like some of these dudes that do weird little creepy things. And for me, I could be so green at times where I didn't know you're supposed to check them about it.
Oh.
Like, why are you talking to her like that? That's weird. And I'll say that. They're like, damn, man, real? I was just joking. But like, no, you made her uncomfortable. Like, I've had an actress come to my trailer crying, thanking me before. And I didn't even know I really was doing something, but I just thought it was weird. Right. All I did was say something like, fam, why you...
You just being a human being.
Yeah, like, that's weird. Why you making that joke about her breast, bro? Like, that's weird. Like, that's weird.
Man, Hollywood is Hollyweird sometimes.
It's very weird.
And you got to know how to get in and get out. No pun intended.
Well, you've been in this business a long time. Like sometimes, like when everything start happening out there, you start getting calls from cousins like, hey, man, was you at one of them parties?
Right.
And it's like, well, honestly, I don't stay long enough for stuff.
Right.
I think that's with any party.
But you know what I caught that on too? When you said, because see, I tell people I like being at home. We've built a beautiful household. I have a great wife. I have 2 great kids. I don't want to be anywhere.
Oh, I go to the same stuff. Like, people get on me for going to the hole-in-the-wall spots.
Right.
I love those lounges. The smoky ones, the small, the DJ just good. It used to be a spot I used to go to, and this, shout out to them at the shortstop. They used to do Motown on Mondays. Mm-hmm. And all we did was dance.
Right.
You had white people who couldn't dance. You had black people who could dance. Everybody was just dancing. It didn't matter. Because we just listening to good music.
And it wasn't about who was there.
It wasn't about who was famous or who any of that stuff. It was just like, yo, Motown on Mondays.
So you know how to get out of it. You know how to just,
I like doing normal, chill stuff. And that's the Chicago in me, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love lounges and super chill stuff. Like, you know how people like, I hate going to the place and I see the same people. I actually do.
Right.
Yeah. I actually love saying, hey, I'm happy to see you again.
Yeah. Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah. And especially if it's a good, familiar spot. And my thing too, Rel, I don't know everybody. I've been in the business. I'm on 30 years now. I don't know the publicists. I don't, I've never been, I'm not on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Which ain't true. You probably can walk it any way you want to.
But let me tell you let me tell you why I can. And I've said this before. I said this to 310 Baby when he was in the neighborhood. I don't know the top like promoter or, get your tickets from this person, but I know that security guard.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I know that if I don't have a backstage pass or a bracelet or something, I know this dude and he know Big. Big, yeah, come on. Hey, man, can we walk back over here? Oh, yeah, come on. I'm the people's champ.
You know what I love about you saying that is, that's how I move.
Yeah, man.
But that's what I love Denzel a lot because of that. You could like, you ever see like random videos of Denzel being in a neighborhood with like gang members and everybody just chilling and just happy seeing?
Like, is this training day? Like, no, this was like yesterday.
Like Denzel was just on the porch having greens with my grandma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and you should be able to do that.
You should be able to do that.
Like, I'll get gas rail and people say, man, what you doing over here? I'm like, man, I'm just here.
Bruh, I remember I was shooting a movie in New Orleans. Because I tend to do this. I'll go to hood spots in different cities.
To eat.
Just to chill, eat the best food, whatever.
I
feel
ask
safe.
People, where do
there.
you go?
Yes. And so a lot of times they be like, hey, man, what you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm chilling.
Right.
This is where I'm most comfortable at, actually.
Yeah. My thing is when people are like, man, what you pumping gas over here? What you doing over here? I'm at a gas station. I'm pumping gas. You know what I'm saying? But that's when the people love you too, though, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I couldn't move with the people, that would feel goofy to me. You know, like if I felt uncomfortable with people that I talk to every day, like I can't go over there. Like, nah, bro. Like I love being over there.
Well, that's what's
I
interesting.
love saying hello.
Coming from the stand-up world, right? Like, the people is why we are who we are, right?
Yes, sir.
Those hole in the wall spots and those open mics, and that is why you're who you are. I mean, that's one of the things I love about great comics. You know, like, one of the things I actually do love about Katt Williams is that he's a people's champ.
Yeah, man.
He's actually the last person from the bootleg generation that it helped him.
Yeah.
You know, when the DVDs, the bootleg DVDs was the thing.
Oh yeah.
Everybody had a Katt Williams.
He took it and ran with it. Yeah,
they
man.
bought tickets after that.
Yeah.
You ain't got to sit. Cool, buy the DVD.
And you know
on
what's
the street.
crazy? People are like, "Oh man, Katt did that because he's got a tour." Katt's always on tour.
Yeah, he done.
And if you went to Katt with all that was going on with Club Shay Shay and a plus 50 million views, you go to Katt Williams' page, he didn't have nothing about Club Shay Shay on there. I think his last post like in 2022 or 23. Everybody else was tripping off of it. But then also, you know, there's sometimes where this is what I felt like sometimes. You ever seen like a movie where the person is walking and it's like that hazy shit and there's gas all over the place, and then they strike the match and throw the match over their shoulder? That was Katt.
well, it's two
Katt
versions
struck
of
that match and threw that shit over his shoulder. And was like,
I mean, he Angela Bassett, right? You remember in Boy Take
Yes.
When she got all the cars up and walked away, but the road going on looking good. And so that's so funny. That's exactly what he did. And it's crazy because you have that version of it, and then you had the beautiful Kobe Bryant version of it. You remember the commercial with all the hate? And that's how I walk.
Right.
You know what I mean? When people yelling stuff, he's like, you know, everybody yelling all. You remember they all saying stuff. I don't go. Like he loved it.
Amen.
It don't mean anything. It's like, oh, I'm still me, and thank y'all for throwing it at me because it don't do
Hey
anything.
man, don't Tiger Woods have one too where he was sitting down watching? It's like I think he's watching like an iPad and it's he'll never come back. He'll never do this. And then that was like a year he won. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. And my thing is this, man. I don't do it for them. I do it for me.
Big boy, let me tell you something. This is why I love talking to you right now. Even just celebrating you doing 30 years.
Yes,
it's
sir.
like, I love this. Like, you can't take that away from me is how much I absolutely love it. And I realized for me, my gift has always showed up for me, no matter what happened in my life. Some of the worst things in the world. But the gift God gave me is just, I don't even know if it's just stand-up anymore, just entertainment. It's always showed up.
You have brothers and sisters?
Yep. I have had two brothers. My youngest brother, Matt, is my best friend, and my brother Marcus, rest in peace, passed away in 2014 from cancer also. But man, we grew up really tight, and even in those moments, I remember like, and this is one of the saddest moments in the world, but like when comedy showed up, like we taking him off the respirator, and this is his last breath, and we all bawling in there crying. It's the most saddest thing in the world. And then my auntie and my cousin start arguing. And me and my brother, next to Matt, we're crying. And it went from crying sadness to crying laughing. Cause they always argued over dumb. They go at it like, shut up, Helene. You know, they doing all that.
Like here?
Cause she doing too much. Helene grabbing the thing. She almost grabbing his body. You know,
y'all call her Helene? Cause we call her.
Well, her name is Helene. Helene.
Helene. Okay, cause mine we call Sheila. But go ahead.
No.
Yeah, okay.
But it was a lot, and they was all sad, but it was so funny. And I promise you, I thought I saw my brother smirk.
Yeah.
Because that's something we would have just been dying laughing at, and on the phone the next day like, yeah.
Hey, man, your brother passed in 2014?
Yeah.
When did Get Out come out?
Get Out came out in 2017.
Okay. Did you ever feel like, and the reason why I asked that, man, is because when you say comedy showed up or just your art showed up, right?
Yeah.
When my mom passed on a Wednesday, and I was back here, Rel, in studio on a Friday. Not because, it wasn't because I wasn't hurt or I just bounced back. I just had a place that I can go to that I was so happy going there. And I felt bad that my family, brothers and sisters, didn't have this same place to go to.
Yeah.
And my mom was everything for me. Even my Ida son tattoo, that was before my mom. I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And the reason why I ask you the year is because when my mom passed, I felt like, you know how things just felt like they just started to happen naturally?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I had my mom, and my mom was like this agent, this manager, this person sitting next to God saying, not just in my career, in my relationship, get that girl away from him.
Yeah.
You know, don't let him fall into this temptation. It felt like I had the best representative sitting next to God.
Yeah.
That was kind of like just, you know, moving me through. Now, of course, there's certain things you got to bang and bumps and bruises, and you got to make some decisions. But it just felt like there was just this other force,
man,
that was helping, that was taking control. Did you feel that with your mom passing or your brother passing or anything like that?
That's so crazy because that's one of the things I feel like all of us could relate to in a way, right? And the story I love to tell is when my mom did pass and we were planning her funeral. And this is
what year your mom passed?
2009.
Okay.
And you know, I'm the oldest, so I had to do a lot of. And I thank God for my aunts and my uncles to help me with that because I didn't know what to do. I had to step in as a leader, and
there's no book and manual.
But they have it though, right? They've done it before.
Right.
So if you got a great family, which I have, I love my family for that. And we all in the living room, and I do a bit about the living room meeting. The funeral meeting is funny when you have a family funeral meeting.
Yeah, now,
all right, so who gonna put on what? You know, and all that stuff. And so while we in there talking about that, I'm just heartbroken. And my uncle, he's a pastor. He kept saying, "Hey, Doc, I'm telling you, God got you, Doc." You know, I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. You know, he's saying what you hear it. Sometimes it goes one ear out the other when you're in pain. And he walks in. It's a newspaper in Chicago called The Red Eye. It used to be like a entertainment magazine newspaper. And I took a photo. It was a comedy festival coming to Chicago, the Just for Laughs Festival. And I thought it would be a small photo inside of there. We took at the comedy club. Because I was still like fairly new. I wasn't even where I was at yet. And he walks in. He's like, "Look here, Doc. Look who on the cover." I said, "What?" I said, "Look, I told you God got you." And I remember just staring at it and just bawling because it was one of those moments where my mom was like, "No, it's okay. You good.
Watch.
It's okay." And those moments keep happening. Actually.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't stop, like you said. Like I feel like me being with my fiance now and what that is, and just even other trials I've been through. You know, I love that Mama always shows up, and Mama being gone makes me understand God better as far as God not being judgmental. Because Mama wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The image of, yes, sir.
Your mama loved you no matter.
Right and wrong. Good and bad.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, it's like, yo, my mama is like that. God extremely got to be like that.
It's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
A lot of life lessons, man. And you just said the engagement as well. How long you been engaged?
We got engaged in September.
And you got engaged at the Beyonce concert?
At the Beyonce concert.
How the hell you pull that off?
Man, last minute, just...
They're going to be like, "Oh, what you had to do?"
Well, they're like, "Yep, I know that."
Yeah, man.
No, but that's exactly like, yeah, here we go. Yeah. So now all of a sudden,
now he with Beyonce.
Here we go. Was he bleeding? Was his nose bleeding when he did it?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No,
he had them triple alligators on his shirt.
Dude,
you know what that means?
Big Boy, it was so last minute. It was the most spontaneous.
You did that on the stage or in the audience?
In the audience. Oh, no,
okay.
I didn't do it. I didn't even, the way, even with the like.
So
camera,
Beyonce don't know you got engaged there.
She did.
Oh, okay.
So all this was I've told the story a million times, but like I did text Miss Tina, and I texted her to ask her what song is the best to do it. That was it. I didn't ask for anything else. I didn't want anything. I literally just wanted just tell me the song, and that's when I'm gonna do it, and that's all I need to know. And she was helping out with that. She's like, I think this would be the best song. And then she was like, what Jay said, hey, you know, he want to send a camera over there. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I ain't asked for all that, man. You know what I mean? But then I almost messed it up. I went to the bathroom. The song came on.
Oh,
it was
man.
Like, it was the craziest story. I had to run
You weren't
back.
wearing beige or gray or nothing. We don't see a little piss on your pants.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
Well, I hope not. Because I was Russian. But, you know, I'm about 40, so, you know, I had to really like, look, this got to be what it is.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know how to
Miss
stop it
Tina,
now.
is there another song?
Can you delay for
Is there another song?
Yeah. Does she do listen?
That's so
wondering.
Like now I'm proposing the wrong song. To the left, to the left. I was wondering if
I want to be trying to make it make sense. I want to be irreplaceable to you. Damn. Oh man. I'm gonna make it work. I know how to improv. So they sent the camera over to you.
Man,
and
that brother was sweating because you could tell he was waiting on me. The cameraman was so sweaty.
Then they're like, we don't have Rel yet.
Because I couldn't find my seat. I forgot where the seats were.
Oh, we don't have Rel. Keep going, keep going. We don't have Rel. Keep going.
But he had the earpiece, so I could hear. I could see his lips moving. He got the camera on his shoulder.
Yeah. Gotta go to somebody else. Like, and she says yes.
She says, it's so funny because when I went down.
Did you do? Oh, okay, yeah.
She didn't know. She's like, boy, what's wrong with you? I tie your shoe. I was like, no, I'm trying to propose. And that's what I said. And she's like, what? And then it was just a beautiful moment. It was crazy because the kids knew about I told all the kids.
Oh, okay.
I told one of my friends was there. It was Beyonce's cousin, Angie. She came over to say
that little
hi.
mama.
Yeah,
I love her.
She's so
yeah,
sweet.
She's been ride or die for years.
She's one of the dopest people in the world.
Yeah.
And she almost not messed it up, but like, hey man, stop with the excitement. You know what I mean? She came over excited before the concert started because she knew. I'm like, fam, okay.
Yeah, like downplay the.
Stop with the extra smiles now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then she's showing you the song list, like. You're like, man, why are you showing me a song list? Like, what the hell?
You know what's funny too? It was a teleprompter near where we were sitting, and I kept trying to see when the song was coming, and it was like 4 or 5 half-naked girls. I promise you I wasn't looking at these women.
Right.
But my fiance at the time thought I was just on some thirsty. She knew I was looking at the teleprompter trying to see the song. She was getting irritated, like, bruh, if you keep looking at these girls.
Can you imagine?
And I was like, nah.
If the cameraman would have came and you've been like, she gone. She left.
Just like this is lip shaking.
Cut the camera too. So it worked out. Do y'all have a date already?
No, I mean, look, it's so funny because it's both our second time around.
Gotcha.
So like, we're just thinking about the marriage, right?
Right.
Like, you know, it's like I'm thinking about, okay, between
Not the
us,
wedding.
No, I think that's the easy part.
Yeah, people. That's why I tell people plan a wedding, but they don't plan a marriage.
Dude, we got 7 kids, you know, in between us. So it's like, all right, what's this next house gonna look like?
Right.
Like I'm thinking about all of this stuff. So when we're done with the wedding, we can go right into the life.
Right.
You
7 kids together?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Any of them under 18? Like how many under 18? Exactly. That's when you know. Which one of them-
5.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, that's definite.
And I've always wanted that, which is interesting, you know, because, you know, once again, and it's so fun because I don't read anything, but she sometimes pay attention to stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what our queens do.
And so she like, you know, people think, and I was like, I don't like, y'all. I met this beautiful woman that God, like, twice had us bump into each other. The first time we met, she wasn't paying me no mind. She didn't even meet me. The kids kind of met. We both had these G-Wagons at the time, and we was doing our COVID test. You know, when we ever had to do the COVID test.
What?
And her daughters was on the show Keenan on
Gotcha,
NBC, and I was doing my game show at the time on NBC. And we just doing our test, and I remember looking at her like, ooh, that fine girl in the white G-Wagon. And I'm trying to get her attention. I'm trying to pose.
Right, yeah.
In my window, doing all the cool stuff. Got my music up loud.
Yeah, is that the 2020 you into? Oh, okay.
And the little girls was like, Mommy, he has a G-Wagon like you. Y'all should get married. She's like, okay, whatever. She
Damn.
wasn't paying me no mind. And then we met at Megan Good is one of our good friends, and we met at the Harlem. They had a Harlem premiere screening, and you know, I went and said some nice words about Megan because I love Megan Good. And she pulled me to the side, was like, hey, what you said was really sweet. And I could tell you have a really good heart, and that was really dope, and that made Megan happy. And that was cool. And that's all she said to me. And I was just like, who is you? Right? I couldn't stop. Like, and it wasn't that she was fine. It was her energy. It was like,
right.
Man, who does that?
And you knew exactly who she was as well from the like.
No, I had to stalk Megan's page to find her.
Oh, damn! So you didn't say this the lady from the COVID testing?
No, I didn't even. We didn't even put that together till the girls did. And they was like, yeah, that was. I'm like, yo, that was you. That was you. You was the fine girl in the truck.
And then you asked, did you have COVID? No, because you know I would have laid up with you for like 7, 14 days.
Like you okay, right? Like we could have did the 14.
Yeah, because now the quarantine was long back then. You like, man, we got a quarantine now. We definitely got a quarantine.
Nah, she's special though. We did it old school, man, and just the DM. Well, old school, new school DMs and long phone conversations, and
conversation friend first.
Man, it was just very deep conversations too.
Yeah, man.
Very deep, like not like that weird. I'll be shooting something like, all right, hold on, I'll be right back, and then come back. Hello. We wouldn't hang up the phone.
Oh man, yeah, that's 8th grade.
8th grade, man.
You hang up first.
Yeah, you hang up first.
We still do that, which is
then
weird.
Your kids be like, can somebody hang up?
You know, the kids really be hating it. Like, y'all just left each other.
Oh yeah, but that's what we tell our kids. Like, dude, y'all just left each other. Like what? Like how can y'all like
Puppy love.
Hey, man, are you watching any of this Big Three, Kendrick, J. Cole? Are you paying attention to any of that?
Yeah, no. I mean, Kendrick is a beast.
Yeah, man.
I like the fact that Jay is like, this ain't my lane, man. I don't do the battle rap.
Yeah, and you know what I love about it, man? And also when you say that you do some therapy as well, he kept saying, when he said, it messed with my peace.
Yep.
That's when I was like, understood. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why do, like, we don't, it's so funny. We don't have to participate in the mess. Like I have my version of that going on now with another comedian, and I don't even mind saying this because it's not me saying anybody's name, but this is, I remember being angry about it. Like, yo, I don't let people talk to me like that or talk crazy like that. I'm a comic too, so I know how to roast back. I can go there. And I remember, like, this is just a true story. I remember praying about, because that's what I do. I pray and I chill and try to, because that's where I'm at now. I'm like, I can't react to everything. And God gave me this vision of this particular comic in a pig pen full of mud with a white fur coat on, trying to bait me to get into that too. Man. And throwing mud at my kids and at my fiance, just talking crazy and throwing mud at them. But then God was like, you could just wipe that off, though. You don't need to go in there.
Don't go in.
Don't go in there.
Yeah,
it looks tempting because he got a white fur coat on.
Right.
It looks cool, but he's still trying to get out the mud because he's doing it this way.
And has that hit public? Or is the person public with
you?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because I don't look at it a lot.
Good. Don't look at it. Because I honestly, I can't watch it. Because if I do, I just know I'll get really angry. So I have my family and my cousin. Like, it's a thing, and it's unfortunate too because it's somebody I looked up to and things like that. But and he's still going. But it's just weird. And then we all in the funny thing is, we in the same group text.
Wait, what?
And he don't respond because he know he wrong. Because everybody else like, oh, okay, he still wanna participate.
How long has this been going on?
After the Club Shay Shay interview. So.
Oh, damn. Yeah. See, I haven't even watched it.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. Big boy, don't participate.
No. Because, and I really tell people,
because I didn't even say nothing crazy, so I don't even know where the energy, but sometimes if you say a person's name, even if you say nice things, and I was more or less defending my friend Gerard, who Gerard is going through everything.
Oh, my God, isn't he?
It's such a, but I hope people watching a reality show, it's so funny watching, like, people angry about it, and Gerard, you this and that. And I text Gerard the other day just to check on him, make sure he's okay. Are you good?
It's crazy that we care so much
about like, but we don't give everything the same energy.
Yeah,
because I'm like, y'all get mad at him, but we letting everything happen at the Zeus Network.
Right. Yeah. Hell, Tubi.
I mean, at least Tubi got the entertaining movie, but Zeus is crazy. I would think, man. Like, what? Like, because even like you know what's funny? A lot of grown, and I'm no diss to that because I applaud that brother for doing what he does. A black man doing his thing. It's just watching these women fight like that, like craziness of it. And we like, dang, there's so many eyes on it. But you have most grown people that be like, I don't watch it. So you know who's watching it then is our young people.
Right.
And so if we're not gonna be up in arms about that, and y'all like, well, Gerard Carmichael, I'm like, but so we ain't gonna say nothing about, but we ain't gonna say nothing about that though.
Right. It depend on what everybody's aiming at. You ever see even in the comments, like all it had to be is just one, and then that sets the tone.
Man,
that sets the tone. That's why I remember I tell the neighborhood as well. I saw this comment years ago about one of Usher's kids as a young kid. And that's when I kind of stopped reading comments.
Man. I can't, and even that is ridiculous. It's like, it's no rules to anything anymore.
Nah. Nope. Oh, no.
It's no code to nothing. It's like, hey, man, like, you know, you could say anything about me. Whatever I've done, because I'm the one in the limelight, do not bring in anybody, no innocent kids or innocent anybody.
Yeah, man.
That has nothing to do. Or some people tend to do that because they're trying to find something that triggers you.
Yeah.
They know you don't care about what you say about them.
To get in that mud.
Exactly.
Relieve that, man. I'm going to do for real with you. I'm going to ask you some questions about you.
Yep.
And if it's for real, just give me for real. If it's for false. All righty? Eddie Murphy's stand-up comedy special. I think you already touched this. Delirious that's what inspired you.
For real,
to become a comedian.
For real.
Yeah, man.
For real.
I remember watching that, and I can still go back to Delirious and see the genius. You know what I just found out too?
What?
Literally, probably a month ago. You know when the girl yells out, "Do David Frost!" You hear, "Shut up, bitch!" You remember that?
Yeah.
That was Charlie Murphy. Cause growing, and I'm talking about like 13 years old watching this for the first time, and I held on to that forever, and not knowing until probably a month ago that was Charlie Murphy screaming out. So for real, Eddie Murphy, man.
Sense. Shout out to Charlie Murphy.
He says he's been mistaken for T-Pain numerous times.
Yeah. For real. It's weird too, cause
by black people.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So it was funny. It's more or less like when I had more to weight on me too.
Gotcha.
People would like put pictures. But honestly, if you do listen to us talk too, we sound like cousins.
Right.
So me and T-Pain talked about this recently. It's like, all right, let's figure this movie out.
Yeah. So you were bigger. He could do the sounds. He could do the.
I think we could play brothers easily.
Right. And so when you were bigger as well, probably more so.
I think so, but then you know, black people love to like make all of us.
Oh yeah.
If it's lit, because we laugh the same too. It's a lot of weird, very similar.
And you can
things.
hear it too. Yeah, that's real.
I was watching it one day. I'm like, all right, my bad.
Yeah,
I
can give him that.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I can't sing as well as he can, but I would love to. It'll be something funny to figure out what we do as play as brothers. To be honest with you. All
righty, man. He used to work for Victoria's Secret outlets.
Yeah, I worked for Victoria's Secret on Michigan Avenue in Chicago.
Really though?
This is so fun. I worked.
So you worked on the floor?
So here we go.
Okay.
They hired me to work in the stock room, but I dressed up every day and was on the floor all the time. Just because it was
right. Just wanted to be out there.
It was the finest.
Look
even
at
that
you
worked
right
there.
here.
All the women were fine that worked there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I learned a lot too. I was steaming slips.
Really though? Oh, so yeah, you definitely can pick out something for the queen now. I'm like, baby,
I do all the loaches.
This your tone.
Let me tell you, something, Valentine's Day.
Oh, you know it.
I was killing.
Hey man, so you can walk into a Victoria's Secret now and be like, man, y'all not on point in here.
See, look at this. Look how wrinkled this is. Y'all got to re-steam this slip.
How long were you working at Victoria's Secret?
Man, a couple of years. Actually.
Really though?
It's funny because I had just started stand up, so I remember one of the workers maybe like a couple of years ago reached out to me like, oh, you really was. I'm proud of you because I was like, yo, I'm gonna be a star, man. I'm gonna be in movies, and I was just trying to impress her. I didn't know if I was gonna do any of that stuff.
Right? No, you knew.
But yeah, it happened. She's like, wow, you really? Because I was just young. I had no facial hair.
How old were you when you worked at Victoria's Secret?
I was 19, 20.
Yeah. Oh, okay, damn.
Yeah.
In Chicago. You're telling the homies you worked there?
Hell yeah. That was the one job you didn't mind telling people you worked there.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, I'm about to go down to the Victoria's Secret. And I got the job because of my cousin Darrell. Shout out to him. So
he worked there?
Yep.
Oh, bring the family members in.
He was there. He got me a job at Victoria's Secret.
Huge fan of romantic comedies.
Huge fan of rom-coms.
Really, though? In any favorite top 3?
Yeah. Easily. Boomerang.
Oh, wow.
Number 1. Okay, it's one of the greatest of all
time. And see,
time.
that's another one we were talking about, getting a part and owning it.
Mm-hmm.
man, Pops. You know, oh, you got to coordinate came from Boomerang, right? Coordinate came, yeah, man. That came from Boomerang. Yeah, that came from Boomerang.
Yep.
Yes, sir. So Boomerang,
Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch.
People sleep on that one, and it's not a rom-com, but it is definitely maybe.
I haven't seen Definitely Maybe.
And you said my
Ryan
top
Reynolds.
3. So I could go down a plethora of movies because I watch a lot of them. But those are my favorite 3.
What is it about rom-coms that you love?
It's just, I don't know, it's cheesy, but like that's why I like watching the Hallmark movies.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because you know what's gonna happen. You like, I know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited to see it happen.
Hey, bro, have you ever been watching something and you do like, oh man, you got to man up?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I've watched stuff at the crib and I'm like, oh, whoa.
Come on.
Don't watch this in front of the homies.
In front of the homies.
What's going on over here?
Look, like you know what's gonna happen at the airport when he runs and they about to take the flight. You're like, stop!
Yeah, man.
You know what's happening, but you still go like I
They
love.
close the door.
But just why I've enjoyed this next part of my romance in my life because it reminds me. I feel like I'm in this beautiful rom-com with her, man. Like all the time. It's like these cool, fun things that just keep happening. That's because I love rom-coms, and so I'm glad I was able to meet my co-star.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, with We Grown Now, when does that drop for us?
So it comes to Chicago, L.A., and New York April 19th.
Yes, sir.
And then it goes everywhere in May. I think it's like May 26th.
Man, and like I said, they were going to send, and I think they're going to send me the movie now. But I wanted to watch it before you came in, bro. But like I said,
I can't wait for you to see this movie. It is beautifully shot. Journey's small. She's so amazing.
How was it working with Journey?
Well, we didn't get a chance to work. Like all our scenes was like separate.
Oh, okay.
But just I was seeing her last night. I'm such a fan of her work, man. You know, I was so funny. We was on a panel together, and I had a moment of thinking about her in Ease by You and just how where she started from.
Yeah, man.
And who she is now, and she's walking into like this legendary status.
Yeah, and you know what I love about her too, man, is that she didn't allow the world to knock her off her square.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
They have a beautiful family, man. They're like a real unit. You know what I mean? And even her talking about it last night, she was just saying how, you know, growing up with a single mom, which when you think about that, you remember they had the television series where all of them was on there. And it was the family.
I forgot about that.
That's crazy. Like they came from this single mom, and wow, and now this thing.
Hey man,
that's
I
crazy.
almost just rewrote history right now when you said that. I was like, no, am I tripping?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's another tuition to the school of experience, man. Especially in today's game. I mean, today, man, people want you here today and gone tonight. You know what I'm saying? And you're only as good as your last work, man. But I thank you for coming into the neighborhood,
Thanks
man.
for having me, man.
I enjoy having you in the neighborhood, bro. And you definitely got to come back. And like I said, and then, man, and I know we got to wrap up, but that Uncle Drew movie, right?
Wow.
Let me tell you, man, that is me and my daughter Jade. That is her movie. That is I'm telling you, man. I probably watched that movie with my daughter. If not from beginning to end, I know we've had it on a couple hundred times.
Wow.
And it got her through like a lot of, you know, her anxiety, you know what I'm saying? But man, another great piece of work. What was the song in there?
You know, Kyrie sings that.
I know, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, but that was a great piece of work, man. But I thank you for coming into the neighborhood, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Come on, we're going to do it again.
Lil
Rel Howery in the neighborhood, Big Boy neighborhood.